God, news has been really interesting lately. There's too many things to mention that I would like, but I think many of us were entertained by this firestorm around Tucker Carlson working in replacement immigration into his platform. Which, replacement is a very, non-controversial word, except that it's been incorporated to describe immigration and adopted by people on the right, so that makes people freak out when they use it, like is happening with Tucker. Which is also funny. I look at replacement as a misnomer as far as what it's describing, but it's used to rile people up, to try to get them to believe that they're being replaced. Even more inflammatory is to say, white genocide. That's the even more inflammatory version. People actually believe that as well. Got themselves believing they're being genocided. But replacement is the offensive, but less inflammatory version of that. It's pretty simple, right? Like, if you have a country of two people, of one person, and you add another person, you haven't been replaced. You have a bigger country, and you have a smaller stake in a bigger country. So the actual word replacement isn't accurate, but it's just used as a way to rile people up. So I look at Tucker Carlson as a pundit, as a hack, as an entertainer, as a troll. He's really good at it. I think he likes sticking a fork or a knife in the side of the establishment. And it's a role, right? Like, he's kind of an actor. He used to do this on Crossfire and some other shows. He likes to rile people up. And he's adopted the verbiage of some of the more extreme right-wingers. The replacement. So there's kind of this, what do you call it? Like, these semantics going on. Oh, is replacement happening? Is it not happening? Well, they deny it's happening, but then they say the white proportion is going down, so it proves that it is happening, and people are glad it's happening. And people use the word, but in my mind, it's not actual replacement. The white proportion going down isn't a replacement. Getting people of color into power is not replacement in the literal sense of the word. It might be the end of white dominance. I don't like white supremacy because it's become such a stupid buzzword. But yeah, it's the end of white dominance in countries like the United States of America or other places, in various institutions, government and otherwise. But that's going to happen in a country that's becoming more diversified. So I think the word itself is not accurate, despite the way it's used sometimes. But then the ADL, who tries to get Tucker Carlson canceled, the ADL does have some power, and they can get some people canceled. But it's a risky strategy. Be careful of trying to cancel others, lest you be canceled. So the ADL tries to get people canceled. People are going to come and try to cancel the ADL. It's just kind of how it works. Like, BDS is trying to get Israel canceled. So they pass these laws that try to get people that boycott Israel and try to get Israel canceled. They try to get them canceled. And then they whine that they're being canceled and they're having their freedoms canceled. So I don't necessarily think trying to get Tucker canceled is the right or even smart approach, but that's what the ADL tries to do to put their beliefs into action. I think it's better just to discuss these ideas honestly and say this theory of replacement for white genocide that gets people all riled up is stupid and toxic and leads people to the wrong places. And then they juxtapose what the ADL says about Tucker with their stance on Israel, which I think is a false comparison, because white nationalists or whatever, if you add up all the white countries of the world, you know, like Russia, Europe, traditional white countries or majority white countries, Russia, Europe, Australia, Canada, maybe Argentina, it's a landmass that's about 2,500 times the size of Israel. So to say, oh, we want to be dominant in all these places, it's not fair that Israel exists and they get to have sovereignty in a country that's, 2,500th the size of white-dominated areas. You know, that's not fair. I just think it's a stupid comparison that the people that believe in white nationalism, if you gave them a deal, hey, leave all your lands and you can live in a small country surrounded by enemies, nobody would take that deal. But I just don't, it's just not an applicable comparison. But people are they just try to pick out an inconsistency, a difference, without giving context of that difference, and claiming it's unfair or hypocrisy. But I just think it's a totally different situation. I mean, white people aren't being slaughtered in their countries the way the Israelis would be if Hamas moved into town. It's just a completely different situation. And a dishonest comparison. But, I don't know. I just think it's really interesting, that situation. And, it'll be interesting to see, what Tucker does next. But, both of these guys are... I mean, Tucker's a pundit. He's a hack, like I'm saying. And, what's his name? The ADL guy. He's an activist. He's an active activist, so he's going to try to limit the power and minimize people that he deems as, I guess he would consider them to be subversive to our society, our liberal democracy, a liberal, diverse democracy. So it was just an interesting development this week, or last week, or whenever the hell it happened. Anyway, what more do I want to say about this? Just interesting is all. The ADL guy, he's not going on Tucker Carlson because he doesn't want to give credence to white nationalist talking points or whatever. It would be kind of interesting, but again, it would just be kind of a worthless debate with semantics, saying we're being replaced. No, you're not being replaced. That's, like white nationalist talking points. I don't know, it's kind of stupid on both sides. But Tucker, who has some good ideas, but it seems to me he just likes to find those wedge issues that rile up his base. It's entertaining, but not necessarily healthy. I don't think he looks at issues and discusses them in a way and manner to have a healthy outlook on the issue, to try to come up with a way to solve it. It seems to me more like he likes to rile people up about an issue. Like replacement migration. Or, the evil elites trying to destroy you. It's just speaking to what his audience wants to hear and is going to get them riled up. Anyway, I don't know. Just wanted to mention that. And those are my thoughts just while driving this morning.